So this class is suited for anybody with arthritis, but if any of the movements that I'm showing you are contraindicated with your health professional, I want you to leave them out. And remember, if you are in an inflammation stage, you want to decrease your range of motion because the inflammation around your joint is creating an unstable joint. So please do not try and go to the same range of motion as you would if you weren't in the inflammation stage. So we're going to start with feet hip bone distance apart and all 10 toes are facing forward. And we're just going to do some mini squats here, just mini ones. And you're watching your alignment, your knees are bending over your second to third toe, shoulders are staying back, and you're just using whatever range of motion feels good for you. You're going to bend, and as I bend my knees, I'm just going to, just hinge my hips a little bit as well. Eye gaze is straight ahead. Avoid looking down, it makes our head come forward, and you want to keep your head over or better in better alignment. And bend and extend and bend and bend, and we'll do 2 more, and then last one, bend and extend. Now from here, we're going to lift the heels and then lower the heels. Heels lift and lower, heels raise and down, lift. So you're getting some great movement into the ankle joint. You want the weight to go into the balls of the feet. And when you lift and lower, avoid rolling out of your ankles. You want to keep your ankles level. So if you imagine a pencil is running through your ankle bone and you're keeping it level, you're not rolling out onto the ankles. And this is a great one for your calves. So by now your calves should be feeling it. And now you're going to press down. This is done better off a mat. Oh, and I didn't mention bare feet is better if you can tolerate it. So what I'm doing now is thumping my heels down into the mat, and this is giving you a little bit of impact, which is great if you have osteoporosis. It's giving you a little bit of an impact there, which is helping to build and strengthen your bones. We'll do 4 more, 3, 2, 1, excellent. Give your feet a nice little shake. All right, so feet hip bone distance apart again, hands are by your sides, and you're going to side bend down and up and side bend down. So all your focus is the one hand sliding to the outside of your knee as you lower and lift, inhale down, exhale up. For some of you out there doing this, you're probably going too fast. Move with your breath, slow it down. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, inhale down. Keep reaching the fingertips down to the outside of the knee. Breathe into those back side ribs, inhale down. We'll do 1 more each side. And lift, inhale, lower, exhale up, and then last one. And then down. All right, we're going back to the feet. This time you're going to bring your heels together and your feet are open. So you've got like a nice V shape with the heels. You're going to rise up onto the balls of your feet and then lower down again. And lift and lower. Eye gaze is straight ahead. Lift and lower. And lift, lift. Going back to those lovely calves. And the muscles in the calves are very important because they are going to help you with your balance, and they always get overlooked. Lift and lower, 4, 3, 2, 1, come on down, give your legs a nice little shake again. Okay, so from here, you're going to take your arms out in front. I've just got a soft bend in my knees. You're going to bring the arms to one side, and then you're going to do like a bow and arrow movement. So you're going to pull the elbow back and around, elbow back and around. So if you have osteoporosis and this rotation is too much for you, then I'd want you to leave this exercise out. I'm going to do 1 more. And then I'm going to go to the other side. It's just like, think of a bow and arrow, and then I'm just circling around. Just getting a little bit of movement into the shoulders, around, pulling back, keeping the elbow level with the shoulder if you can. And I'm just going to do one more. And down. Excellent. We'll go back into those side bends. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up. Inhale, down. Exhale, up. Move with your breath. Inhale, down. And up. Inhale, down. And I'm going to do one more on each side again. Try and be in bare feet if you can. It really helps. Makes your feet work as well. All right. So now you're going to raise your arms out in front. My arms are shoulder width distance apart. And now from here, you're going to bring the shoulder blades together. So your shoulder blades are at the back here, these two bones in your upper back. And you're going to bring them together and apart. It's not going to be a huge movement. You're keeping the elbow straight. Eye gaze is straight ahead. It won't be super huge. And just be careful that when you're doing this exercise, that you're not shrugging your shoulders up. You're keeping space from the earlobe towards the shoulders. Elbows stay straight. Come back and forward. Nice deep breaths. So glide those shoulder blades together and apart, together. And I'm just going to do one more. Excellent. Now you're going to turn your palms up. You're going to bend your elbows. Elbows are towards the ribs, but they're a little to the front of the ribs rather than behind you. Soft bend in your knees. Neutral level pelvis. So you don't want to stand with your belly pushing forward. You want to stand neutral level. And then you're just going to open. And again, this is not going to be a super big range of motion here. And open. And open. And this just helps your upper arm bone turn in your shoulder joint. It's called the shoulder complex for a reason. It's very complex. There's a lot going on there. And your shoulder is the most fragile joint in the body. Open and in and open. I'm just going to do two more. Very good. Excellent. Put your hands on the hips, feet hip bone distance apart. And then we're going back to those mini squats. So again, depending on how you feel today, depends on how far you're going to go down. Maybe you will make it a little bit further without forcing anything, but you don't have to. Bend and extend, bend, extend. And when you bend the knees, just make sure that you're not pushing your bum back. If you're feeling tight in your lower back, you may be putting too much of a dip in your lower back than you need to. Bend, extend. And we're just going to do one more. Excellent. Stand nice and tall. Now I'm just going to take a hip hinge. I'm keeping the natural curves present in my spine, and then I'm coming back up to standing. Breathe as you hip hinge forward. Breathe as you come up. Breathe as you hip hinge forward, and breathe as you come up. Hip hinge. Again, keep it in a range where it feels pleasant. And I would stay waist height or even higher. Avoid being an overachiever. More is not better. In fact, going too far is going to put you in a precarious position. Hinge forward and up. Hinge forward. Taking that bow from the hip. And then one more time, take that hip hinge forward. Excellent. And then come on up. Okay, now we're going to come down onto hands and knees. So if this is problematic for you, whether it's with the knees or the wrists, you can either roll up the front of your mat, you can roll up the back, you can roll up both. So you've got a little bit of extra cushioning. So the heel of the hand would be on the mat and your fingers would be relaxed. If that is still too intense, then you can make a fist and you're going to keep the level position of your wrist there. Try and do as much weight bearing on your wrists as humanly possible for you. All right, we're going back to those shoulder blade glides again. Shoulder blades together. and apart, shoulder blades together and apart. You're trying to have your toes curled under. So if you've got arthritis in your toes, this might be a little problematic, but see what you can manage. Each day is going to be different. You're going to do one more here. Good. All right, now we're going to focus on the rib cage. So here you're going to keep the pelvis stable and you're just going to glide your ribs from side to side. So for those of you that remember the typewriter, think of the top of the typewriter as it would glide one way and glide the other way. Try and keep the hips quiet, and maybe if I turn and face you, you get a better picture there. As I glide one way and glide the other, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. These are called rib glides, just moving from side to side in that horizontal line. Think of that typewriter. Come back to center position, and then you're just going to do a little tuck under of your tailbone, and then neutral or level, the small tuck. Avoid going super big here. It's not a big cat stretch. It's just a little tucking under of your tailbone. You've got the weight into the hands, the knees, a little bit into the feet. You're going to tuck and release and tuck. And then 2 more times. Keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. Very good, excellent. Okay, next we're going to go into a side forearm plank. So you're set up here, you've got your knees together, so the knees are stacked on top, your feet are separated, your elbow is directly under your shoulder. And I'm going to start with my ribs pulled up a little bit here because our starting position tends to be here. So you're not at the beach. So I want you to press that forearm down into the floor. Bring yourself up so you're already in alignment and your head is back. Your head isn't dropped forward. Knees are together. All right, from here with the rib cage, this might be where you stay. You might just stay here in this supported position, or you're going to lighten or lift your hips and you're going to tap back down. This is a great exercise for strengthening the shoulder and also strengthening the side obliques here. And this is also one of the moves that we use to get ourselves off the floor. We're just going to do 2 more. If this is too many for you, you're going to stop. You're going to do as many as you can. Last one, lift. And then lower down. Now from here, staying on this side, you're going to continue to lay all the way down. If you want to prop something under your head, you can. I'm going to have my bottom knee stays bent and forward as if I'm sitting in a chair, and my top leg extends and lengthens. So now I've got some space on the underside of my waist. I'm going to put flexion into my ankle, so I'm reaching out through my heel. So imagine if you've got flat shoes on. And then I'm going to start to make small circles about the size of an orange. Nothing super big. And don't let your pelvis go for a dance. Your pelvis is staying quiet and stable. And now change direction of your circles. Go around the other way. Keep your rib cage pulled in. And then we'll do another 8 circles as you change direction. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then change. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and little movements up and down. You can see how small they are. They are not very big at all. Keep reaching out through that heel. Make your leg a little bit longer. If you have osteoporosis, you might have lost some inches. Let's get those inches back. Make your leg longer. So all of the muscles in your leg are engaged and active. So you should be feeling this by now. Very good. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now from here, your top knee is going to bend. You're going to take a half roll back and your foot's going to plant on the floor and your bottom leg is going to extend. So I've gone from laying on my side to now I'm going halfway on my back, but not fully. I'm going to flex through my ankle of my bottom foot as if I got flat shoes on, and then I'm going to lift and lower here. So we're working the inner thigh of your bottom leg as you lift and lower. Keep the rib cage pulled in and lift. Breathe as you lift. Pressing out. And again, you're going to do as many as you can. I don't really like to give how many reps you should do. I believe in seeing on how your body feels on that day. Some days we feel like Wonder Woman and other days we don't want to get out of bed. So how do you feel? Now you're going to lift up that leg. You're going to hold it there. Now we're going to pulse. We're going to pulse. It's, oh, lovely. Very good. 4, 3, 2, lower down. From here, now we're going to roll on our back. Knees are bent. Walk your heels close towards your bum and your feet are hip bone distance apart. And I mean your hip bones, not your fleshy outer thighs. A lot of us go too wide here. So try and let your shoulders come back into the mat without popping the ribs. Arms are by your sides. Push into the feet. Lift your hips up in a level pelvis and then lower back down. Push down into the feet as you lift and lower. Breathe as you lift. Breathe as you lower. Shoulders are nice and wide. So you're keeping your pelvis in neutral, which means that you have your natural lower back curve. It's there for a reason. We're not meant to flatten that out. You want to move your body around the stability of your pelvis, not alter the pelvis for the sake of you moving the limbs. All right, so I'm going to give you a little more advancement here. If the next exercise is too much for you, leave it out. Otherwise, you're going to have your hips lifted and stay here. Let your shoulders be nice and wide. I'm going to put weight into my wall leg and I'm going to lift up my screen leg. I'm hinging from my hip and I'm going to lower down. Now put weight in your screen leg, hinge from the hip and lift my wall leg and down. So I want you to anchor first before you lift, because I want that muscle to be ready and prepared to take more of your body weight. So focus on your anchors, your shoulders and that 1 foot. And again, if you're going through inflammation stage, I would want you to leave this one out. Press into that foot, lift and down, press in, lift. And I'm just going to do one more each side, lift. Keep the ribs nice and low, keep the hips high. Very good. And then you're going to lower the hips back down. Straighten out one leg, straighten out the other leg. This is only if it feels okay on your lower back. I'm going to interlace my fingers. I'm going to press them up to the ceiling and then I'm going to reach them back. Reach out through the heels. Take some nice deep breaths. Feel your rib cage stretch and open on the inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Very good. Excellent. From here, we're going to do the other side. So you can either easily roll over if your space allows you to do that. And I'm going to go to the other side and we're going to start back into those side planks. Your setup is important. Forearm is on the mat, elbow under shoulder, knees together, feet apart. So your feet are as if they're on a tightrope. Lift those ribs away. So you can see this is a very dropped, lazy, out of alignment. And I'm going to pull my ribs up. I'm going to bring that shoulder down away from my ear and bring my head back. From here, lighten or lift the hips again and tap down. We're not holding it. We're going to keep moving. And again, one side is going to be better than the other. Lift and down, raise, lower, lift. Don't forget to breathe. Breathing helps. No holding your breath. And these exercises are in my 12-week Core Restore program, because as well as working the pelvic floor and your trunk, your core, I also cover other issues that we may be dealing with at our time of life. And we're going to do one more here. Lift, lower down. Now you're going to lay all the way down, bend your bottom elbow. Bend the bottom knee, have the top leg straight. Before you do anything else, make your leg 1/2 inch longer so you get that space on the underside of the waist. And then from here, start to make small circles. Remember, you've got your flat shoes on, you're reaching out through the heel, your rib cage is pulled in. And circle, your kneecap and your hips are facing forward. And now change direction, other way. Keep reaching out through the heel, keep that space on the underside of the waist. And circle, circle. And let's change again for 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2. Last one, change direction, circle, circle. 4 more times. 4, 3, 2. Now up and down without taking your pelvis for a dance lift. Pressing out through the heel. 4 more times. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Now we're going to change the legs. The bottom leg straightens, the top knee bends. Take a 1/2 roll back. Flex the bottom foot as if you've got your flat shoes on. Draw your rib cage in, and now you're going to lift and lower your bottom leg, working the inner thighs. Lift and down. Keep pressing out through the heel as you lift and lower, press, lift. Very good. And lift, lower, raise, raise. And now let's lift up and hold it there. And now little pulses up and down. You should be feeling this one. And again, if what I'm doing, you're not feeling very much, by all means do more. You pause this video, do some more. If it's too much, don't do as many. Everybody's different. Every body, every single body is different. We've all been doing different things with our bodies. How can we expect to all be and look the same? All right, now let's lower back down. Now we're going to roll onto our backs again. We're going to have knees bent. And now neutral pelvic position again. So you've got the tailbone nice and heavy. You've got the natural curve in your spine. You're going to have the arms by your sides. Push into both feet, lift hips up and tap back down again and repeat. Remember to breathe. Let your shoulders sink back into the mat without popping the rib cage. Press, lift and lower. Press, lift and lower, lift. And we're going to go back to that same advancement that we did on the other side. If you want it, you're going to keep the hips lifted. Use your shoulders. My wall leg is pressing into the mat as my screen leg lifts. Extend, bend, and lower. Anchor into your screen leg, other leg lifts. Extend, bend, and lower. Switch up. Extension, keeping your flat shoes on. Remember your anchor points before you lift. You want to focus on your glute ready to support you a little bit more. We'll do one more each side. Extend. And then last one, up, extend, and down. Lower the hips down. Draw one leg to tabletop. You're going to extend and bend. Breathe. Keep the back ribs connected. Keep the tailbone heavy. Shoulders nice and wide. Extend. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Extend, bend, and lower. Switch legs. Tabletop, extend. Remember, do as many as you can. Make sure that your pelvis stays quiet. So this isn't about how far you can extend the leg. It's about doing it without moving your pelvis. Extend so tailbone stays heavy. You've got your flat shoes on. You're reaching out through that heel. Extend. Extend. 3, 2, last one. Excellent. Bend the knee. All right, so my screen leg, I'm going to extend. I'm going to shift myself to the edge of the mat. Use that back foot to push you over to your side, to prop yourself up, to come around onto hands and knees. Wrists into shoulders, knees into hips. We're going to start. You're going to tuck your tailbone under, so you're not just dropping into, you're not dropping your abdominals towards the mat. Tailbone is tucked. So imagine there's a glass of water balancing on the back of your crops. You're going to extend one leg, reach out to the heel, and then lift and lower. Stay nice and tall on the arms. Lift, lower, lift, and lift. Now, if it's available to you, you're going to extend the opposite arm and you're going to do opposite arm, leg, lift. If this is too much, then leave it out. Lift 4, lift 3, tummy stays nice and tight for 2, last one, and in. We're going to switch, extend the other leg. You know that your mat is rolled up if you need to for your wrists. Stay tall on the arms. So this isn't, you know, this here you're supported and your whole body is engaged. You're pressing yourself away from the floor. You're reaching the heel away, lengthen and lift. So you feel that connection in your body. And in the Core Restore program, there is a great exercise that's very similar to this, but it's in the hyperpressive method, which is what I teach in the 12-week Core Restore program. 2 more. Keep that knee straight, lift, and then lower. Very good. Open your knees. If it's available to you, sit back into a child's pose. If it isn't, then don't do it. You can either have hands forward. If that bothers your shoulders, you're going to take hands back. You can let your head rest. And I want you to take some deep breaths and breathe into your back bra band. So if you're wearing a bra that clasps at the back, that's where I want you to try and put your focus and the most movement. Take deep breaths. Let your chest just sink down. Draw your shoulder blades together. Full deep breaths. Just going to do one more. Move the wrists around if that weight bearing was a lot for your wrists. All right, from here, you're going to come on up to all fours. Come up to tall kneeling. Curl both toes. Step 1 foot forward. If you need to use the wall for support, use the wall. Otherwise, you're going to push and come up to standing. And now we're going to do some lunges. So you're going to have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Eye gaze is straight ahead. Your back heel is lifted and you're going to lower that back knee as close to the floor as you can manage and back up and lower down and lift. Eye gaze is straight ahead. If your knees are arthritic and they have inflammation, leave this one out. I would want you to go back to those mini squats that we did at the very beginning. Lower and lift. And your focus is keeping equal weight into both feet. And you're staying upright. So we're not allowing the upper body to move forward. Back knee. So focus on that back knee going down towards the floor. We're going to do one more here. And then you're going to switch. You're on the ball of that back foot. Your eye gaze is straight ahead. Pelvis is level. And now you're lowering that back knee down towards the floor. Lower, lift, down. Ooh. Focus on a spot that's not moving. Focus on that back knee coming down as close to the mat as you can. And let's do one more here. And then lift. We're going to go back to those mini squats. Bend, extend, and bend. Just see how that feels. and bend, extend, lower. Remember, keep your abs pulled in. Tuck your tailbone under slightly. Imagine your favorite person's in the room. And bend. For those of you who know me, you know mine's David Beckham. Lower and lift and down. Let's do 2 more. Excellent. We're going back to those hip hinges. Hinge from the hip. Keep the natural curves in your spine. And hinge back up and breathe. Hinge as you lower. Hinge as you lift. Hinge and lower. Hinge and lift. So there's no change in the position of your pelvis. Keep your pelvis level. And lift. And I address posture and level pelvis and breathing and all of those good things in the 12-week Core Restore program. It's a full body approach to your core and your pelvic health. And hinge and up. We're just going to do 2 more. I like to keep my hands here. It gives me a bit of feedback that I'm not going too crazy. Last one. And up, and let's go back to those side bends. You're going to lower down. If it's available to you, you're going to add the arm reaching overhead. If that's too much, you know you're not going to do it. And come on up. Slide down first, bring the arm up and reach over. It's meant to feel good. If it adds stress, don't do it. You don't have to. Lower down, breathe, enjoy it. It's meant to feel, oh, lovely. And up, let's do 1 more each side. Inhale and reach over and up. And then last one, inhale, lower down and reach over and come on up and you're done. Thank you for joining me. Again, my name is Jeanette and I'm the founder of Core Restore by Jeanette. And I teach some of these exercises in my 12-week program. These aren't the pelvic floor exercises. These are some of the bonuses that I've put throughout the program with my background being in post-rehab. And I want you to live your best life as pain-free and confident in your body's ability as absolute possible. If you have any questions, you can send me an email, info@corerestorebyjeanette.com. Comment on this video, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.